I did a video a while back on LinkedIn for fundraising, but I wanted to expand a bit further on LinkedIn newsletters because I have been having amazing success with them. I have a LinkedIn newsletter and I'm doing a few for a few clients, so I'm going to link mine below in the description as well as that video, because if you're wondering how to get more views on LinkedIn, how to grow on LinkedIn, and how to fundraise on LinkedIn, creating a LinkedIn newsletter is a great way to raise awareness and fundraise on social media. Now, LinkedIn has become the most popular social network for professionals with over 700 million global users. It is now a big player in the social media game. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you how to get access to LinkedIn newsletters, how to create a LinkedIn newsletter, some LinkedIn newsletter best practices, and how you can use LinkedIn newsletters as part of your digital fundraising and nonprofit marketing strategy. So let's get to it. So what is a LinkedIn newsletter? It's very similar to a LinkedIn article post. The main difference is when you post an article, it goes onto your timeline and your connections only discover it by scrolling through their feed. When you publish a newsletter, your subscribers get notified, which increases your chances of people seeing and consuming your content. So think of it much like a blog post or an actual newsletter that you'd publish on a regular schedule. Users can sign up to receive the LinkedIn newsletter, so when you publish a post, they'll get an email, an in-app notification, or push notification depending on their settings. And subscribers are not limited to your followers. You have the added benefit of LinkedIn recommending your newsletter and pushing it out to users they think will benefit from it. So imagine your social media married MailChimp and they had a baby, which is LinkedIn newsletters. Imagine the possibilities for fundraising. Now, I want to quickly cover some benefits of LinkedIn newsletter, because in addition to extending reach, newsletters are the perfect vehicle to share in-depth content that helps build awareness and share your impact. They can also act like prospect leads by identifying which LinkedIn members are active subscribers. And best of all, it's free. So aside from expanding your reach, as we mentioned, LinkedIn is pushing newsletters out to a wider audience who are not currently following you. There is some other additional added benefits, like increased engagement. You can invite people to sign up for your newsletter who maybe your information would resonate with, and that will help improve engagement. LinkedIn newsletters also help boost brand awareness. If you have a dream donor who is passionate about your cause, they will probably see your newsletter and get passionate about your organization. LinkedIn newsletters also help build authority. They are the perfect tool to establish yourself as a leader in your area of focus. And finally, LinkedIn newsletters can help generate donations. Newsletters provide an opportunity to showcase your impact, tell your stories, promote your campaigns, and so much more. According to Neil Patel, a well-planned LinkedIn newsletter can generate potential leads for us donors 277% more than on Facebook or Twitter. So with a LinkedIn newsletter as part of your strategy, that number could go up for you. Now, setting up your LinkedIn newsletter, the first step is checking your eligibility. And here's what LinkedIn says about that. You have to have access to the creator tools. So go to the Creator Hub and check to see if you have access to it. You also have to have an audience base of more than 150 followers, and you have to have a history of creating original content. So you must have created or posted something within the last 3 months. And you have to be in good standing with LinkedIn and their community policies. Now, if you meet these criteria and are ready to go, here's some other things that you should consider. You can only create and maintain one newsletter at a time. LinkedIn only allows you to send out one newsletter every 24 hours. Be sure to use images and stay on brand. You can use hyperlinks and always link back to your website for search engine optimization, and link to outside sources to help build credibility. And be consistent with your publishing schedule. And finally, engage. As with all algorithms, they reward content based on engagement. So how are we going to set it up? Step 1, turn on creator mode. Just log into your LinkedIn account and go to your profile. In the resources section there, you'll see a link that allows you to turn on creator mode. And if you haven't yet created any posts on LinkedIn, start sharing your content now. Now, to set up your LinkedIn newsletter, go to create a post as you normally would and click the option to create an article. Now, inside the publishing editor, click on the option to create a newsletter. And in the window that pops open, you'll be prompted to fill out the details about your newsletter. like your newsletter name. Now choose a name that is clear, keyword optimized, and conveys your overall value of the information that you want to share with your subscribers. Your description should also be keyword optimized, and you're going to have about 300 characters to work with. Now you can upload your logo, a square version of it, or you can create a logo that visually represents the newsletter. Just make sure it's consistent with your overall branding. You'll also be prompted for your anticipated schedule, so choose how often you plan to send out your content, daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And don't worry, LinkedIn isn't going to hold you to that schedule. If you choose weekly but only post bi-weekly, you're going to be fine. Now keep in mind, you can change your mind later on and go back and edit your details, but just be careful because changing things drastically can affect your subscribership. Now, step 3 is publishing quality content to your LinkedIn newsletter. And if you're like most people, your LinkedIn newsletter strategy consists of a little more than cobbling together a few posts and paragraphs and texts, hoping for the best. But if you're serious about getting noticed on LinkedIn, it's time to step up your game. So here are a few tips for building quality content that will help you stand out from the crowd. First and foremost, I always recommend a solid content strategy. It's so important to deliver quality newsletter posts that help you build that following and the trust. People can unsubscribe just like a regular newsletter. So here's an example. I have a client that we're doing weekly LinkedIn newsletter posts, much like a blog post. They're a mental health organization, so we post articles on the latest research, and we always link back to the website because our goal is awareness and search engine optimization. I have another client that we use LinkedIn newsletters to do like quarterly updates, almost like a regular newsletter. And we always link to campaigns because our goal is fundraising. And then there's my own, which is bi-weekly, sometimes weekly, sometimes every 3 weeks, whenever I have time. But I always link to a YouTube or a podcast because the goal is education. Tip number 2 is get used to the formatting. The formatting can be a little bit wonky and has limiting options like text size, H3 headings, quote structures. There have been a few times where I thought I had the perfect layout and then cried when I saw it how it looked on email. So apparently LinkedIn didn't get the entire MailChimp DNA with the baby. Focus on value. Your LinkedIn newsletter should offer something of value to your target audience, whether it's helpful tips, industry news, insights, or your organization's latest project. Just make sure there's something in it for your readers. And be personal. Your LinkedIn newsletter is an opportunity to put a human face on your brand. So don't be afraid to inject a bit of personality into your writing. As with everything, strong headlines. Your headline should always be attention grabbing and make people want to read more. We can use images. A picture really is worth 1,000 words, so make sure to include plenty of visuals in your newsletter. And a well-placed image can also help make a big impact or break up text. And finally, include the call to action. Make it easy for people to take action on your content by including links and contact information. Always link back to your website or your campaign. I mean, if you've written a LinkedIn newsletter article on a topical piece that relates to your mission and you link back to that mission, it will help support that mission. By following these tips, you can be sure that your LinkedIn newsletters will be enjoyable and informative reads for everyone on your list. Step 4 is engage and promote. As with any social media platform, engagement drives views. So make sure to engage with your subscribers and always comment back. I even send DMs to folks who like my posts and sincerely thank them for doing so. Take advantage of the fact that LinkedIn newsletters can be shared by anyone, and you can also invite people directly to the article. You can also promote your newsletters by sharing links in your groups or forums, your company page, or on your personal profile. Ask your employees to share. And according to LinkedIn, when employees share content, they typically see a click-through rate that's double that of their company profile. And people are 3 times more likely to trust company information that comes from employees. And finally, employees are more likely to share LinkedIn content than on any other social media platform. LinkedIn newsletters offer a unique way to reach out to current and potential supporters and keep them updated on your nonprofit's work. They're also a great way to stay top of mind and show off your organization's personality and engage with the world of LinkedIn. If you haven't tried creating a LinkedIn newsletter yet as part of your social media fundraising strategy, now is the time. And if you want to watch that LinkedIn video that we did, just click here or here. It's going to pop up, and I also put it in the description, and see you next week.